your warm-up, the beginner's class is going to have a focus on the upper body and arms. So we're going to start off, make sure that you've done your 5 to 10 minute gentle warm-up exercises, and going to start off into hip width apart with your feet, soften off your knees, up nice and tall. We're going to think about just shrugging the shoulders up towards the ears and then pushing your hands right down. So try and make sure that your head's nicely in line with your body, and all you're doing is sliding those hands up and down your outside of your leg so that you're raising your shoulders up towards your ears and then back down again. And really trying to push those fingertips long towards the floor as you're doing it. And you're breathing in on the way up, and then breathe out as you come back down with those fingertips down towards the floor. 2 more. And down. And last one. And down. Now we're going to combine that with a little bit of a roll back at the same time. So you're going to think about sliding your hands up, and then you're going to squeeze the shoulder blades back at the back and then push down long, coming forwards again, stretching up towards the ears, retracting back and then coming back down. Excellent, keep going. So you're drawing effectively a circle on the outside of your leg, and you're combining this movement to try and get these shoulder blades so that they're doing the work and squeezing back together at the back as you come back down again, and then you're doing the extra pull down to try and get those shoulder blades down towards your hip level. Rolling round. Manage 2 more. Up nice and tall. Just keep your chins in as you're doing this. Make sure that you don't end up leading with your chins forward. Keep that chin nicely in. Excellent. Last one. And relax. Now, you should feel nice so that you can open up really easily across the front of your shoulders. Keep that chin pulled in. I'm going to let the elbows tuck into your sides, palms up, and this is called the dumb waiter. You're going to just separate your hands so your thumbs are going out, but you must keep those elbows tucked into your side as you're doing that. That will rotate you really nicely through the shoulder and stretch out, get that movement of rotation. It's pure rotation then at this shoulder. Excellent. Keep going. Really push as far as you can, just so you're squeezing those shoulder blades at the same time as you come into that end part of the motion, and that'll start getting some good scapular work. Don't forget the scapula itself is just part of the shoulder joint, so it makes up, it's where the arm attaches onto the body, sits into this socket, which is part of your scapula itself. Tend to forget about that just because the scapula is sat at the back. 2 more. Really squeeze in at the end. Excellent. Last one. And relax off. Now we're going to stick with a bit more rotation through those shoulders as we come into Cleopatras. So rotation, but we're going to add in a little bit of lifting of your arms at the same time. So starting position is palms facing each other, and then you're going to take your palms away but keep those elbows tucked in, stretch out, and as you stretch out, turn your hands to the ceiling. Stretch those arms right out, extending those elbows. Okay, and back in again, and then as you come back in, turn the palms so that your thumbs are pointing upwards again. So out, turn over and stretch out. Fabulous. And again, you can do some of these exercises in front of a mirror just to make sure that you're getting good shoulder level and symmetry on the arms. All of us tend to be a little bit one-sided on these on some of these movements, you included. Excellent. And back in again, palms face each other, palms stay facing each other all the way until you get to that last bit, and it's only as you extend your arms that you do that rotation outwards. So set palms up as you stretch out, come back in with your palms facing the ceiling, and then turn as you come back on to return to centre. That's better. Well done. 2 more. Really squeezing through those shoulder blades, make sure that you get those out nice. And you do definitely bring one left shoulder up higher, a little bit higher. Try and concentrate on just keeping that left shoulder down a little bit as you do that. Excellent. Okay, relax off. Right, going to go into some stretching and reaching. So lifting your arms up, above your head. Georgina's just going to go onto her knees because she's a little bit too tall for this. And stretching the arms out in front and lifting all the way up. Okay. And from that position, keep it up there. Go and stretch one arm at a time. So you're really elongating through one side, working that shoulder blade again. Getting some movement through there. Keep going. Reach, reach, reach. As if you're climbing a rope. Well done. Keep going. And you see this lovely elongation going on through the trunk here. That's what you're aiming for, is to try and really stretch out that whole side so you get some good movement through. Excellent. Well done. And one more to each side, and then lower your arms down, coming down in front as you come back down again. Excellent. Right. You'll still be on your feet, but we're going to stand yourself up. We're going to just do a little bit of work on some balance work. And again, think about just squeezing those shoulder blades back and down to keep so that you're nice and stable through the upper part of your body. You're going to think about pushing all of your weight through your left foot, peel your right heel up, come up into single leg balancing. If you need to put your arms out or put your hands on your hips, you can do whichever you want to do, whichever you prefer. And just really keeping everything nice and straight through that supporting leg. Keeping your chin tucked in and tummy button pulled towards your spine, keeping that all nice and stable through the centre section. Excellent. And then replace your foot, swapping over to the opposite foot. And peel that leg up nice and tall. Keep your balance. Well done. You're aiming to keep your knee up in line with your hip if you can, but it might take a bit of practice to be able to do that. Right, going to do one more on each leg. Now, if you want to tough it up a little bit and you're finding that's all okay to do, then you can do those clear patches we were doing with our arms while you're on standing on one leg. So do whichever level works for you. If you want to make some of these exercises a little bit harder, if you're finding them relatively easy, then I'll talk you through one or two little variations you can do as we go. That's it. And it just makes you have to think about different areas of your body as well while you stabilise up. That's lovely. Just keep that left shoulder down a little bit. Let's do a bit of work on that left shoulder here. Well done. And down. Excellent. Right, let's go down onto your mats now. You're going to go over onto your fronts. So just hang fire and watch the video, just see what you're going to be doing. And then you're not over on your tummy and you can't see. So, going to relax off, turn your toes in and your heels out, which will switch off your bottom and your low back muscles. And we're going to work on this upper part of the shoulder blades area. So again, just tuck your chin in so that you can put your forehead onto the mat, and if you want to have a rolled up towel, then feel free to use one of those. And we're going to think about just again pushing along with those hands down your mat. So push down, it will really make you squeeze through these lower muscles here that attach onto those shoulder blades, and then relax off. And in doing that, that's going to switch off this upper part here. So that's going to be the first exercise. The second exercise that we're going to do is to lift the shoulders and the arms away from the mat. So squeezing in and just lifting, just trying to get that distance between the mat and the shoulders. And then lowering back down again. And again, lift up. So those are the two exercises. So if you lie yourself over on your front, we're going to do the first exercise of sliding those hands down so that you're trying to make your fingertips go as little far down the mat as you can. We're going to do 10 repeats and relax off and push down and relax off. Push down as you breathe out. Breathe in as you relax off. Push down and breathe out. And breathe in as you pull up and push down. And it's almost like a recoil as you just let it go rather than an active shrug up. Push down is the effort, and then you're just letting it go as it comes back. When you get to 10, we're going to swap over to the opposite of the second exercise, which is to lift the arms and the shoulders away from your mat. So again, we're going to do 10 repeats of that, and it's push down with the arms and lift up those arms at the same time. So you're bringing the fronts of those shoulders off the mat, but keeping your arm coming up at the same time. Now, if you find that too sore, then just leave your hands on the mat and lift just your shoulders away from the mat. You can do either, whichever suits you. Don't hurt your shoulders and your neck. Just be a little bit careful that chin stays tucked in and you don't start tipping your head back on these. Keep going for 10. Slide down and pull back and relax off as you breathe in. Breathe out as you push down and back, and breathe in. Push down and out, and relax. So how many have you done that?
I have no.
Nearly at 10. Okay, let's just do one more for good luck. So pushing down, squeeze back, and relax off. Now we're going to do a little bit of pulsing on this one. So we're going to lift the arms, keep your head on the mat again. Just going to lift your hands just gently up off the mat. If you can, you're going to aim to lift them higher than your bottom. Okay, and then you're going to see if you can lift them, holding them there. Try as if you're going to clap your hands behind your back. So you're going to do these little pulses as you squeeze in. This is a good one for working the backs of the arms here. And relax off. If you find you can't lift your hands up that far behind your back, then just lift them a little way. And again, just do those little movements towards your bottom. It doesn't matter how high you go, but just do look after those shoulders. Excellent. And relax off. 10 little pulses if you can. And we're going to do it 5 times. So we're on number 3. Keep going. And just squeezing in. Making sure those shoulder blades are doing the work that they need to do. Excellent. And last one. Well done. Now we're going to do a little bit more just through the back here, and the next sort of nape of the neck. We're going to leave the hands on the mat where they are, and lifting, tucking your chin in, lifting your forehead, so you're just literally lifting the front of the shoulders off the mat, and then you're bringing your head this time rather than your hands, and then lowering back down again. So squeeze in there with those shoulder blades, squeezing those shoulder blades back and down, lifting the head at the same time, and then lowering back down again. And again, squeeze in and lift your head, and then lowering back down again. Try and get everything moving at the same time. So squeeze in with the shoulder blades, lift your head at the same time. Lovely, and back down again. And 2 more, squeeze in and lift, and back down, and 1 more, squeeze in and lift, and back down. Excellent. Right, we're going to go over onto your side now. So lying over, just cradle your head and your neck so that you're nicely supported with your... There we go. And again, just centre off and make sure that you aren't going banana shape with your spine. So keep that hip lifted. And with your foot where it is, we're going to just pop your hand so that you're going to have a little bit of support on that side. We're going to push up onto your elbow now so that we come up into supporting onto your elbow. And we're going to get some nice contraction through here, so just make sure that you're nicely in position with your elbow underneath your shoulder here and knees slightly in front of you. And we're going to lift the hips up into side plank. The top hand is going to come up and over if you can, and then back down to your side. Keep maintaining that distance from the mat, and then lower your hips back down again. Okay, get some lovely work around the supporting shoulder, but again, just don't make shoulders sore. We're going to do that 5 times. That's number 1 done. So lift the hips, arm if you can, up and over, and bringing your arm back down, and lower the hips. 2, lifting up, arm over, arm down, for 3, lift hips, over, down. Okay, and last one. Yeah, just make sure that you do adjust your shoulders as you need to. Lift up, arm over, and back down, and lower. Well done. Right, you do need to watch that you're not wobbling around and don't end up in front of your shoulder or your elbow. And again, equally, make sure that you're directly shoulder, and elbow sitting in the same plane. Okay, so going to sit up from that position. Okay, leave your feet where they are, so you're sitting a bit of windswept with those legs, and you're going to slide your hand that is on the side of your feet down, and with the opposite arm you're going to come up and over. So have that lovely stretch through here. It really stretches out the latissimus dorsi here as you stretch right over, and then back down again. And again, stretching over. Going to do 3 of these lovely stretches. You'll feel it all through this area here. And back down again. And think about sliding that hand on the mat as far away from you as you can, which will just take you that upper body over. And back down again. Now, if you just pop your feet round to the opposite side, we're going to do that same thing on the opposite side. So stretching, hand down towards your feet as far as you can. And you might well find it's much easier to go one way than it is to go the other way. So you'll know which side that you need to do the extra work on. So sliding over. And again, try not to sit, so twist as you're doing it. It's literally that side glide over. And the last one, over we go again. That lovely stretch through here. And back down again. Okay, down onto your side now. Let's just even you up. So coming up onto your elbows, so just cradle your head first and just get yourself sorted out so that you're nicely all in line, and then we're going to keep that waist lifted as you come up onto your elbow. Okay, and from that position, going to push through your feet and your knees as you come up into side plank and up and over with that arm, and then lower back down again. Do 5 repeats of this again, like the other side, up and over. Really stretch long with that arm if you can. Lifting up, all the way up and over. And back down. And again. Excellent. And the last one. Well done, and down. Right, roll over onto your back. So we're going to go into mid position with the feet. So turn your feet out to 10 to 2, lift those heels out in line. That'll bring you into line with your hips. And again, just centre off so that squash your back into the mat, arch off and come back to that lovely neutral spine position. And from that position, we're going to lift your arms up to point to the ceiling. And just make sure that you stay in that mid-centered position with your knees. You're going to keep those dead center and still where they are. With the arms, you're going to elongate through the arms so that you're reaching up towards touch the ceiling, so that the backs of your shoulders are going to come away from the mat, and then you're going to control them and lower them back down again. And then again, pushing up towards the ceiling, and then lower them back down again. Going to do 3 more repeats for 5. Stretch up and then lowering them back down again. Keep going for 5. You okay? And 1 more. Well done. And then lower those arms back down by your side. The next exercise is we're going to draw like a D shape with the arms. The arms are going to come up and then you're going to bring them all the way back and then coming round as if you were drawing a D. So round, in the way there, and then back up again. So back up the centre, taking your arms back. So you're not going all the way down to the floor on this one, you're just keeping them so that you're about 3/4 of the way up. Taking them back a little way and then drawing these lovely Ds. Really control it. Wonderful, doing okay? Now again, if you want to work the tummy muscles a little bit more at the same time, then we're going to go on to doing that same movement, but we're going to have one knee just lifted up into tabletop. So keep that leg in that position. So you've got to really recruit through here to make sure that you don't start moving around. And then arms up to the ceiling, doing your little Ds again. So just reduce the size of the D so you don't crash into your leg. Taking it back and round. Lovely. Keep going. You're going to do 5 loops round with those hands. Try to keep that leg at 90 degrees if you can. If you find that 5 is too many and you can't control it, you're beginning to lose it through here, then pop your foot down and then swap over and then just do a couple more. So don't worry about how many you can do, it's how many you can control and make sure that you keep the form here. If you're losing it, pop your foot down, recenter off, bring your foot back up again, and then carry on. Lovely. And back down again. Right, not to leave your tummy muscles out of things, we're going to pop your hands down by your sides. We're going to go into doing hundreds, but you can do however many pats you can do. We're just going to repeat it 5 times, okay? So it will be more like 20s to 30s rather than hundreds at the moment. So we're going to stick with 20 to start with. We're going to do 5 repeats of 20 pats with the arms as you're doing those hundreds. So slide your hands down towards your feet, keep your chin in, but lift it a little bit so that you've got a gap there. And you're going to lift and lower the whole arm. So as if you were patting a ball, 20 little pats. And when you've done your 20, roll back down again and lower off. Well done. Keep count for me. We're going to do 5 repeats. Okay, sliding those hands down and lift the arms up. You're going to pat those hands. Really work it from the shoulders. Try not to go into too much of a head bob on it. You're trying to keep everything nice and still, and it's just those arms that are doing the work, working through those abdominals really nicely. And again, slide down. Now this is a horrible exercise, but it's very, very effective, and there's lots of different variations along the way, but you'll find as you start getting up towards the advanced levels that we start doing hundreds, and you find out why they are called hundreds. And again, so slide down. If 20 is too many, then again, do what you can, don't strain yourselves through there. And it's not a great big lift up. You're thinking about your sternum going towards your belly button as you just do that little curl upwards, and make sure that you keep your chin in so that your neck is nice and long. You should be able to have like an apple or a peach so that it's just under your chin, so that sort of distance that you're wanting under there. Excellent, and back down again. We've done 5 there, I think so. Okay, so working through those abdominals is really, really important because again, that's the key bit that holds your top and your bottom half together. Right, moving on to, I'm going to come over onto your hands and knees. So, over onto your hands and knees there. And again, we're going to do some nice work through these shoulders as you swap and you do a bit of weight bearing through these arms. So from this position, going to make sure that you're centered off first. So let your belly back drop down towards the mat, and then lift your belly away from the mat, and then come back to that halfway position. Keep your head lifted so that it's nice and long and in line with your body. And then we're going to slide one hand away from you and then lift up. replace, and slide it back in. And again, same thing again, keep that chest lifted in so that your body is staying between your shoulder blades. Don't want to see you so that all these shoulder blades are poking out as you drop through. So make sure that you do keep that sternum pulled up into that area. You just see that little lift made all the difference there. Okay, so keep that nice and still through there. Think about pushing all your weight through one hand and releasing the opposite hand off. Stretch out, lift and lower, return. Excellent. Make sure that when you come back, you're getting equal weight through each point that's in contact with the floor. And then move the weight over onto the opposite arm and slide out, lift. We're just losing it a little bit through here. Just straighten this out a little bit, but keep up through this part. Quite a difficult exercise to do, even if you're quite good at Pilates, then trying to move little bits independently can be quite an issue. Okay, just drop that a little bit, that's lovely. Okay, and again, I'm going to do one more on each side. So that evened you up on one side, okay, and one more on each side. Slide out. Really keep tucked in. Think about keeping that spine really nice and level. And then back in. And last one with the opposite hand. Sliding out. And down. Excellent. Right, going to add the leg in this time so that you're going to the opposite. Going to keep in contact with the floor though and just slide opposite arm and leg out, keeping it in contact with the mat. So slide out and then coming back in again. And then the opposite, sliding out. When we're doing a slide out and breathe out, and we're doing it breathing in as you come back to centre. Breathe out as you slide out. Breathe in as you come back to centre. Slide out. Excellent. And again, just watch that this neck and head stay nice and long, chin tucked in, face. Keep going with those opposites for me. Just keep nice and long through that spine and try not to do too much wobbling from side to side. Excellent. It's all about keeping form so that you have the control to be able to work each part independently. Excellent. One more to each side. Well done. Excellent. Okay, we're going to sit back now into child pose. Wiggle those fingers forwards, forehead onto the mat. And again, just to stretch out this area of your spine, we're going to drop down onto the right elbow and twisting round to look under the left armpit. Okay, and then you're going to drop down onto the left elbow and look under the right armpit. Excellent. One more to each side. Drop down onto the right, look under the left. So you're just doing this nice rotation and you'll feel the stretch coming in through here. And then the last one. Well done. And back to centre. Okay, coming back up onto all fours. We're going to just tuck your toes underneath you. Going to come up into standing, but we're going to go through that nice slow roll up as you come up and walk your hands back and then just gently roll up one vertebra at a time. So you're stacking up from the bottom and then each vertebra is coming up as you come up. Really you have to work at tucking that tail under as you come up and each vertebra then stacks up as you come up. Really nicely up into that nice standing. Squeeze those shoulder blades back and down and make sure that you're standing in that nice elongated through the crown of the head position. We're just going to finish off with a little bit of a stretch through those shoulders. So bringing the arms up in front of you and then just in front of you, hands pointing towards each other, and you're going to stretch them forward, so just elongate them, try and make your arms a bit longer, and now pull them back and in, and push, and pull, keep going, 3 more, and pull, again, just don't arch back from here, keep the bellies tucked under, and it's just those shoulder blades that are doing the work, last one, and relax off. Stretch those arms all the way up now and grab hold of your hands, turn them inside out, and then push out as you come all the way back down again. And push out as you come up and bending it over to one side. And then bending over to the other side. And back to centre and push it out to come back down again. And just roll those shoulders around, which are the ones that we did at the very beginning of the class. And then rolling them back the opposite way. And then relax off, stand up nice and tall. Just think about taking a couple of good deep breaths. So thinking about getting the air down to the bottom of the lungs, being nice and tall through there, bringing that chin in that little extra bit and breathing in. Just hold that breath.
That brings us to the end of our beginner's class with a focus on the upper body.
Excellent. One more. Breathe in through your nose.
Like, comment and subscribe.
Big breath in.
And we'll see you for the next beginner's class.
And then gently side to